I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and therefore it's pretty safe to say that I was extremely excited for this game. Perhaps you may say that I'm too harsh or analyzing the game too much, but I'm just going to give my thoughts flat out, and then you can disagree or agree or whatever. But let me know what you guys thought of the game if you've played it in the comments below. Just a warning, though, before you watch this video, spoilers are incoming, so if you've not completed the entire story for Jedi Fallen Order, do not continue to watch this video. When I saw that final trailer for the game, I got the chills, and at that moment, I wanted one of the best Star Wars experiences ever to be in this game. After completing the story, I can say that I did get that, but not at first. So first I'm going to talk about the gameplay aspect of the game. At first I was very annoyed with this game, and quite frankly didn't like it much. The gameplay felt very choppy and not really user-friendly, and something I compare to is Shadow of War. In that game, you can parry into multiple attacks, and it's all very smooth, but in the beginning of Fallen Order, it didn't really feel smooth. Plus, I was dying a lot, and you can make the argument that I was just bad at the game, and sure, go ahead, that's a valid complaint or argument, but to that I say, at the beginning of the game, you have like two abilities that you can use. You can slow people down, and you can attack people with your lightsaber. Additionally, the mechanics of the game really were poorly made, in my opinion. Throughout the story, I think I died like more than 20 times, just stupid falls and slips off ledges and cliffs. I mean, it was non-stop at times. One particular part on Kashyyyk where you have to use the slow down ability to get over what looks like sinking mud or sinking sand. Quick mud. And it took me like 15 jumps to actually get across, but I was pressing the right button. It's just like stupid shit like that happened throughout the entire game. So early on it was annoying that I couldn't really do much, but the jumping shit lasted the whole game. Another thing I think that could have been thought through more was the checkpoint system. I fought my way through 30 minutes of gameplay, happened to die stupidly, and I have to go all the way back to a checkpoint so far away. I think that could have been made better. I think the checkpoints could have been closer together. I have one last complaint about the gameplay. I promise I'll calm down in a second. And this happened particularly during boss battles. I would hit a specific type of hit, such as the break off into two sabers hit, and it just wouldn't happen. My character would just sit there spazzing out. Let's just say I lost a few rounds because of that. Anyways, onto the good side of the gameplay. This game was like no game that I've ever played. Yeah, it had similarities to games like Assassin's Creed, but it was a unique puzzle game and a challenging one at that. At times it took me a lot of time to figure out certain puzzles, and it really made you think, and that part I liked. I also really enjoyed the boss battles. They were really hard, especially Terran Malicos and Trilla at the end. Shit took me so many tries, and that's pretty fun to be honest. In addition to what I said, the maps in the game were fantastic. I mean, fantastic. Each had their nooks and crannies, and it really felt like a Star Wars field trip. Aside from the gameplay, let's talk about that story. This, and you can quote me on this, was one of my favorite Star Wars canon experiences. What I particularly liked was that it wasn't trying to bridge the gap between two movies and time periods. No, it was its own story. And what a story it was. We were introduced to so many new characters such as Seer, Grease, BD-1, even Cal, Trilla, creatures, worlds, and also had some familiar faces such as Saw Gerrera and Darth Vader. What started out as a slightly boring story got very good. As soon as I flew up the origin tree atop the Fligo, the game really kicked off. What an experience. The game took a new approach to Star Wars. It was Star Wars, but it felt so different. It was all about discovering the secrets of the Force and the Jedi while reflecting on the past. And it felt like a journey to the center of the earth times Indiana Jones adventure. It was something special. Not to mention experiencing Order 66 to its full atrocity. I felt the pain. I mean, like, that was more than the movie did. Revenge of the Sith is what I'm talking about here. The game really put us in the shoes of the individuals who had everything taken away from them so fast. It really showed us how out of nowhere the betrayal of the clones was. Another awesome part was Trilla's story. It was dark and intriguing. We felt her like we felt for Anakin Skywalker, an individual forced into unspeakable agony and left with nothing but the dark side. I also really enjoyed Terran Malicos and his role in the story. He was a character that challenged the ideals of the Jedi, like Luke questioned them in The Last Jedi. I'm always a fan of that. And can we talk about Darth Vader? Can we talk about Darth Vader? When Seer mentioned the Dark Order, I knew I was going to see Darth Vader at the end. But it was still awesome. Something I love about the new additions to the canon is the connections that we can make. Darth Vader knew of a Jedi named Cal Kestis and his role in being an adversary to the Empire. Another annoying part, though, is that I want more. What does Cal Kestis do with the rest of his life? The answers that I need. Same thing when Solo came out. I want to see the rest of Kira's story, but what are you going to do? Mirren, a Night Sister, was in the game, too. I mean, how cool is that? We got Ilum, too. I mean, when I realized that, I flipped out, man. We got to search for a Kyber Crystal, an iconic part of Star Wars every fan wants to go through. When I completed the story, I knew I had gotten something all Star Wars fans deserve. It was a truly magical, and I'm sad it wasn't amazing throughout the entire game, but I guess we can take what we get. All in all, I liked where the story ended. The vision of Cal's pupils being hunted and the vision of Cal as an Inquisitor was so fucking cool. I love that. In the end, he made the right decision to leave it up to the Force. After all, trust only in the Force. The story took things we knew, didn't know, and the magic of Star Wars, and spat out something truly awesome while giving players important messages, such as taking the pain in our life and using it in a healthy way. Yeah, I had problems with the gameplay, but considering the story was so good, I'd have to give it a 7 out of 10. To me, Star Wars isn't complete without the story. Every fan should get to experience this game.
Trust only in the Force.